open. If everybody rise and we say the pledge,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
do we need to approve the minutes first? Is that right, Sarah? From last
Just
month?
go in order of what the agenda,
Okay, so open public hearing.
yes.
We have a variance for location and additional accessory structure at 502 North Angie Drive. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public.
Well, you have to
No.
say, open it to see if anyone has any comment or evidence that they wish to, anything that they wish to present to the board as part of the public hearing.
Okay, is there anything anybody would like to present as part of the open hearing to the board?
Then hearing none, now you can close it.
Okay, hearing none, let's close the public hearing. We have an open public hearing, or I will open the public hearing.
Yeah, let's do a motion, we can probably get a motion to close.
Okay, can I get a motion?
I move to close.
And I will concur. Okay, thank you. Okay, open the public hearing for a second variance. This one is for the size and height of a sign at 1807 North Broadway Street. Is there any discussion, any comment, anybody from the audience would like to present to the board on that matter? Hearing none, I will take a motion to close the public hearing on this item.
Second.
And I will concur. Okay. Now we are cooking. Today is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. The time is 7:02. This time, please silence. Oh, I guess the meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals is called to order. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available at the back table. And now we'll do roll call. Amber?
Philip,
Yes. Here.
Ken,
Present.
Dick,
Yes.
Alan's absent.
Okay, and now we can approve the minutes from the March 7th meeting. Do we have any comments or corrections on that?
I think we just say hearing none, and they're accepted as presented.
Okay, hearing none, we will accept those as presented. Old business, none.
We need a motion to approve this, minutes, sorry.
You don't technically need a motion to approve this? Well, yeah.
New business, first up, Sarah, Josh Whatley and Melizah, oh, sorry if that's not,
Right.
Melissa, Melizah?
No, you're right, Melizah.
Melizah, thank
Yeah,
you, good.
tight.
From 502 North Angie Drive are seeking a variance for the location and a number of accessory structures in an R2 lot.
Good evening. This evening, Josh Whatley is with us, resides at 502 North Angie Drive. As you will see on the map, they own the lot that is outlined in the lighter blue, the lot right behind it, and then the lot right behind that. They're wanting to put an additional accessory structure on the lot behind them. Our ordinance states that you cannot have an accessory structure and without a primary structure on the property. Now, I spoke with him and Melizah when they came in, and what they are doing is they are going to have a survey done. They have already signed the contract and paid for the survey with Andy Sholey here locally. He just can't get to it till later this month. And I have a copy of that contract and receipt where they paid. So they'll be doing an administrative subdivision to combine those two lots. They'll leave the third one as separate. So basically they're wanting, their variance is gonna be for an additional accessory structure of a swimming pool and then a pool house type thing, pool shed to like cover the filters and that kind of thing, so the pool equipment. So I will have Mr. Whatley come up, and if you have any questions of him.
Hello,
Hey, if you state your name for the record, please.
Joshua Whatley.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Whatley, do you have any feedback from your neighbors? Does anyone say
I
anything?
did. I got a message on Facebook and they just were curious what it was. I don't think they want some big structure back there obstructing any of their view. And I let them know it was above ground pool. And they said, oh, that's fine. So that was the only feedback I got from them. Asked if they could swim in it.
I received a couple of calls as well, but nobody the letter doesn't state, it just states what our ordinance is, doesn't get into details. They were wanting to know, and I explained to them what it was, but they didn't have any issues.
I drove out by your house today.
Okay.
It's a nice piece of property, the house looks great.
Thank you.
And we have an above ground also with a pool, with a pump out there. So your pump is gonna be basically on the side of the pool.
Yeah.
How big a structure do you think that covers?
Honestly, the way I think I'm gonna do it is the pump and everything will actually be over or underneath the deck that's gonna kind
Kind of
of
like.
go around it. So extra structure isn't really, I think, gonna be necessary. If nothing, be the height of the pool and just probably this wide, just so the weather doesn't, eat
You'll
it.
access it from the side.
Yeah.
So you're gonna extend, the new deck will come right off the current deck? right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
Anybody else from the audience have questions, comments, concerns about this matter? Hearing none, I will take a motion pending, I guess, that they get the lots surveyed and consolidated.
Well, it doesn't really need to be pending. I've got, the paperwork and the proof that they paid for it. Andy just couldn't get to it till later this month because he's so busy.
I think it's May 23rd or 28th, they'll be out there to survey.
Yeah, they were just wanting to go ahead and get started to get the pool installed, so, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It doesn't really need to be pending.
Okay. So
I never get around to it.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance.
Second.
I concur. Do you want to take a roll call with it?
Philip,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dick.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Josh.
And
Do I gotta come over that? I'll come.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
next up.
Next up, this evening, we are looking at a sign variance for the new Culvers that is coming to Greensburg. They were requesting a 90-foot sign, but when they came in this evening, they asked if they could possibly go for 100-foot. Once they got out driving around, looking at all angles and stuff, be able to see from the interstate, realize they need about 10 more feet. We have a few signs that are here in town that are about that height, if not a little bit more.
What's the ordinance on that, sir?
Well, the ordinance from what I found was like 40 feet, but that seems so low, but to me.
Today.
The actual size of the sign on the top is not gonna change. It's just the height. So,
Sarah, what's the purpose of having ordinance like that to control the height? Is that public safety or is it
it's probably to make sure things that,
visibility?
I would say it's generally visibility. So when they did the most recent version of the sign ordinance came into effect under Mayor Herbert's
2013, I
administration,
think
so
it
it was
was.
2014. And so they engaged the services of a consultant with regard to signage and then Glenn Tebby was the BZA president and was pretty active in that sign ordinance, as well as Sean Green from Greensburg. sign. So a lot of what is in our current ordinance was driven by those individuals and the determination as to appropriate signage and visibility. And one of the major concerns with regards to the height was people's ability to see it and recognize it from a safe distance and an appropriate distance. So I don't think there's any reason that it would be prohibitive to go higher, particularly if they're trying to get visibility from the interstate.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it is slightly higher. I feel like it's higher than 40 in the ordinance.
And I may have looked at it wrong.
Right, but I think
Because it's all based on how many lanes of traffic, what the speed of traffic is,
and that was really the driving factor, is the consultant was looking at the number of lanes, how fast people were driving, the distance. There was a big presentation, the distance between when you see the sign, when you can recognize the sign based upon the speed that you're going. So the speed along the bypass had an impact on what the signage could be in terms of the design.
and if you see Culver's and other towns and stuff, that's typically their signs are that tall for that purpose. You have a lot of businesses that do that so they can be seen from, I mean, Wendy's is pretty tall as well. You've got Domino's that's very tall, Starbucks out there, you know, just, it's for visibility, you know, to draw people in, of course. And I will have whoever needs to come up, Chris, or you coming up, to answer any questions, more questions you have. Do you have any more of me, I guess?
State your names for the record, please.
I'm Chris Tebby, attorney for the applicants.
Bob Goins with Meyer Foods Manager.
And I think Mr. Stephen commented on it, but from their perspective, the taller, our position would be the taller than what they requested only increases, or it doesn't, the safety factor of using the bypass, I mean, the point is for audience other than the bypass is the reason for the height, so. And I guess from our perspective, from our client's perspective, the uniqueness of the property adds a little bit. The whole point is for the market, for them to market their product, and not having that direct access off the bypass and having to go around certainly impacts their consultants and who they talk to as far as where they pick the locations. So that the uniqueness of this property, I guess, lends or adds to our request to go up to the 100. And to clarify, I can speak to this better, but the actual square footage of the sign is what you'll see in their typical trademark and where you would see the other stores and restaurants. So the pole would increase by 10 feet, does not change the square footage for the actual sign.
That is correct.
Were you planning on having any signage out on 74 itself?
We may do that either on like the NDOT sign or billboard, something like that.
Kind of
That would be what we would do.
Anybody else from the audience here to speak on the issue? Have any questions, concerns? Okay, hearing none, I will take a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second. Your motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Thank you very much.
I'll second his motion. And we can do a roll call vote, please.
Philip,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Thank you.
Sarah, anything else?
No, we will have a meeting next time.
Okay.
And actually, I would make one final note. Amber did show me the ordinance chart, and it does show 40, but it also shows only 2 lanes of traffic. So given the fact that you have 4 lanes of traffic, 80 to 100 is not out of the realm of possibility because it is a B2. So I think you're pretty consistent. I mean, I know you've already voted on it, but I think you can rest assured that you're pretty consistent given the size of that road.
we need a motion to adjourn.
Also move.
Eric,
Thank you, see you all next month.